When I was younger, I would open my eyes and I'd be turned a completely different direction from when I started. So I've seen a big change.
It was supposed to be the celebration of a dream come true, a man who went from humble beginnings to the nation's stage, crowned as the latest American Idol winner. But just weeks after that glorious finale, Jamal Roberts disappeared without a trace. No public statement, no social media post, no farewell tour, nothing. In May 2025, shortly after wrapping up a highly anticipated concert series alongside R&B icons Brandy and Monica, every remaining event on Roberts' calendar was abruptly canceled. There was no press release, no notice to fans, just a sudden, eerie silence. Then, like a coordinated blackout, his Instagram, Facebook, and X accounts, which collectively boasted millions of followers, were all deactivated within hours of each other. The entertainment world spun into confusion, with media outlets scrambling for answers and fans launching digital search parties across platforms. The hashtags #Where'sJamal and Justice for Jamal exploded into the top trends worldwide, with more than 1.5 million posts flooding in within 48 hours. But the shock only deepened when news surfaced of a disturbing incident back in Roberts' hometown of Meridian, Mississippi. Rolling Stone confirmed that Roberts had rejected a ceremonial key to the city, citing safety concerns after receiving multiple threatening letters. These weren't just any letters, they came from a known extremist group opposing his presence, laced with hate speech and serious death threats. A source close to Roberts disclosed he was in a safe place, but admitted his mental state had been seriously affected. As public concern grew, industry peers began speaking out. Country star Jelly Roll, who shared the stage with Jamal in the Idol finale, posted a plea on X. "Let Jamal be, he needs peace more than ever." Even Carrie Underwood, who was once rumored to have backstage tensions with Roberts, broke her silence with a simple but powerful Instagram story. "Wishing you the best, Jamal." Hook, what happened to the rising star who once captivated a nation, and why did he choose to vanish at the peak of his fame? Call to action, stick with us. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because what we discovered next will make your jaw drop. Rumors explode, mental health, family drama, and public sightings. As the days turned into weeks, the mystery surrounding Jamal Roberts only deepened, and with silence came speculation. Then came a viral TikTok video that ripped through the internet like wildfire. A middle-aged woman, tearful and visibly distressed, claimed to be a relative of Roberts. Through sobs, she said, "Jamal has cut off all contact with the family. We don't know where he is." In less than 72 hours, the clip amassed over 15 million views. It was raw, emotional, and for many undeniable. But just as quickly, others began questioning its authenticity. Was she really his family? Why hadn't anyone else from the Roberts circle come forward? And then came another twist. Several Facebook fan groups began sharing alleged sightings of Roberts in a quiet Tennessee town. Grainy photos appeared online, a man with dreadlocks resembling Jamal entering a small grocery store, walking near a gas station, seated at a late-night diner. None of the images were confirmed, but they added gasoline to a raging fire of curiosity. Meanwhile, whispers began to spread in corners of the internet about something more serious: mental health treatment. Tabloids ran sensational headlines like "Jamal Roberts on the brink" and "Is America's Idol facing collapse?" Despite the frenzy, neither his management nor family issued a statement. And with the record label offering only a generic line, "We are working with Jamal during this difficult period," fans were left grasping at theories. Hook, was Jamal truly hiding from the world or being hidden from it? And if the rumors were true, how bad had things really become behind closed doors? Call to action, don't blink. The next part of Jamal's story takes us back to where it all began. Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the roots of this mystery are far darker than anyone imagined. A childhood marked by trauma and violence. To understand the disappearance of Jamal Roberts, we have to go back to the beginning, to a place where survival was a daily struggle, and dreams were a fragile luxury. Born on November 6, 1997 in Meridian, Mississippi, a city infamous for its high crime rates and limited paths out of poverty, Jamal's life began under the shadow of hardship. His parents, Carlos Roberts and Kim Daniel, divorced when he was just 6 years old, leaving his mother to raise him and his 3 younger siblings in a cramped home deep inside the city's notorious red zone. Police patrols were a constant sight, yet gun violence remained inescapable. Amid this chaos, one figure stood as a beacon: Jamal's grandfather, a respected local bishop who became his moral anchor. It was in the church that Jamal found his first escape, singing gospel songs at the age of 2, his small voice echoing through worn-out pews. Gospel music wasn't just a hobby, it was armor, shielding him from the temptations waiting outside. But even faith couldn't protect him from every tragedy. At just 14, Jamal's best friend Jermaine was shot dead in a gang-related conflict, an event the Clarion Ledger described as an unannounced storm that shook the entire community. Jamal later reflected, "That day I realized if I didn't get out, I'd end up on the sidewalk like Jermaine." The blows kept coming. His mother's health declined, forcing Jamal at 16 to leave school temporarily and work at a local grocery store to support his siblings. "I used to think music was a luxury," he told a local interviewer years later. "When you're hungry, it's hard to sing with joy." At 17, he narrowly escaped gang recruitment when a cousin, already deep in street life, tried to lure him with promises of fast money. Jamal's grandfather took his hand and said, "If you go down that road, there's no coming back." Hook, this wasn't the polished backstory of an idol contestant, it was survival, and it would shape every note Jamal ever sang. Call to action: stay with us, like this video and subscribe. Because the next chapter reveals how one chance moment catapulted Jamal from the red zone to viral fame. Going viral by accident, the gas station video that changed everything. Sometimes, a single moment captured at the right time by the right person can flip a life upside down. For Jamal Roberts, that moment came in 2018, not on a grand stage or glitzy talent show, but in the dim corner of a gas station parking lot. A stranger filling up their tank overheard Jamal humming to himself as he waited outside the store. The voice was raw, soulful, and undeniably moving. They pulled out a phone and hit record. What they captured was a 45-second a cappella performance. Jamal, eyes closed, pouring his heart into a melody with nothing but the night air and flickering neon lights as his audience. The video was uploaded to Facebook with the caption, "This guy just gave me chills." Within days, it exploded, garnering over 1 million views and catapulting Jamal from a struggling part-timer in Meridian to a name on everyone's lips. Local radio stations played the clip on air. Churches, weddings, community events, everyone wanted Jamal to sing. He became more than a viral sensation, he became a symbol of hope. People who had grown up in the same streets saw themselves in him. "He made us proud," one churchgoer said. "He showed that something beautiful can come out of this place." Jamal's voice wasn't trained by elite tutors or polished in industry studios. It was forged in poverty, grief, and determination. With each performance, he lifted spirits, not just his own, but those of an entire community. Hook. But as the world began to notice his voice, few realized just how many times the doors to success had already been slammed in his face. Call to action: hit the like button, subscribe, and keep watching, because what came next nearly destroyed his dream before it ever truly began. Repeated failures and idol rejections. Behind every overnight success, there's usually a mountain of rejection hidden from view, and for Jamal Roberts, those early failures were enough to break most people. Long before the confetti rained down on his American Idol win, Jamal had already stood in line, heart pounding, voice trembling, only to walk away with nothing. In 2016, his first audition for Idol ended abruptly. Judges said he was too young, too green, not quite ready. 2 years later, he came back stronger, but crumbled under pressure when asked to perform a second song. That audition ended in silence and disappointment. Around the same time, he tried out for The Voice in a closed session, but was instantly rejected. One judge, speaking anonymously, admitted he had the voice but not the confidence. No story that grabs the heart. And that's the irony: the very story that was unfolding in his life was one of the most gripping of all, but no one was listening yet. Jamal later told Billboard, "I treat every failure as a lesson. No scar comes without a story." Each rejection left a bruise, but also sharpened his resolve. He returned to the only place that ever made sense: the church, the community halls, the street corners of Meridian. There, he kept singing. He studied performances online, practiced breathing techniques between grocery shifts, and taught himself how to command even the smallest audience. He wasn't just preparing for a moment, he was building a fire. Hook. And when fate finally handed him one last shot, Jamal didn't just show up, he blew the roof off. Call to action: like this video, hit subscribe, and keep watching, because what happened at that next audition would shake the very foundation of American Idol. The audition that shook American Idol. By the time Jamal Roberts walked into his third American Idol audition in early 2025, there was no backup plan, no safety net, just a man, a voice, and a defiant choice of song that would jolt the entire competition. While most contestants played it safe with familiar crowd pleasers, Jamal stepped up with Mary Jane by Rick James, a bold, funk-heavy track that raised more than a few eyebrows for a family-friendly talent show. Judges exchanged glances. Carrie Underwood, serving as guest judge, didn't mince words. "Are you sure this is the song that will make people love you?" But Jamal wasn't there to be loved, he was there to be heard. And from the moment he opened his mouth, the room changed. His voice wasn't just powerful, it was dangerous, electrifying, alive. The performance left the judges stunned. Lionel Richie broke the silence first, saying simply, "That was fearless." He got the golden ticket, but more than that, he got the internet. Within 72 hours, his audition clip went viral on TikTok, crossing 10 million views and branding him Idol's rule breaker. Fans flooded the comments with praise. Finally, someone with soul, swagger, and a refusal to play by the book. But with praise came backlash. Conservative critics slammed the song choice. Pundits debated whether Idol had lost its roots. Jamal, however, stayed quiet. He didn't need to defend himself, his voice had already spoken. Hook. And as the competition progressed, Roberts wouldn't just break rules, he'd break records. Call to action, hit like, subscribe, and stay close, because Jamal's next performance wouldn't just go viral, it would ignite a movement. The performances that made history. If Jamal Roberts' audition shocked the nation, his next performances scorched the rulebook and set fire to everything American Idol thought it knew about its own identity. With each round, Roberts didn't just sing, he commanded, he embodied, he transcended. During the showstopper round, he delivered a haunting rendition of Tennessee Whiskey that left the studio in stunned silence before erupting into applause. Lionel Richie, visibly moved, stood up mid-performance and declared, "This isn't just singing, this is magic." That moment alone topped YouTube's trending chart with over 25 million views in a single week, but Jamal wasn't done. At the top 24, he tackled Liar by Jelly Roll, transforming the stage into what critics described as a soul possession ritual. His raw intensity, trembling emotion, and aching vocals drew comparisons to legends like Otis Redding and Donny Hathaway. Even Carrie Underwood, once skeptical of his place in the competition, admitted with a stunned expression, "You're not just singing, you're turning this stage into your home." Social media exploded. Hashtags like Jamal Idol and Voice of the Year trended worldwide. TikTok clips of his performances were reposted by celebrities, stitched into duets and analyzed by vocal coaches. Fans weren't just watching, they were experiencing a cultural shift. Jamal wasn't the polished product of reality TV. He was the rebellion, the raw emotion, the reminder of what real music could feel like. Hook, but while the spotlight grew brighter, something darker was building behind the scenes, a shadow that would soon threaten to swallow it all. Call to action, like this video and subscribe now, because Jamal's Idol journey was about to take a turn no one saw coming, and it all started with a single leaked video. IdolGate leaks, backlash, and the scandal that shook the show. Just when Jamal Roberts seemed unstoppable, a single 15-second video sent shockwaves through the American Idol universe, igniting a scandal so big it earned its own hashtag, IdolGate. The clip first surfaced on Reddit's infamous IdolLeaks subreddit under the explosive title, "Jamal's Golden Ticket Was Just About Talent." In the grainy footage, Roberts was seen backstage standing closely beside a senior Idol producer. The two were speaking intimately, Roberts with a hand casually resting on the producer's shoulder, both smiling and whispering in each other's ears. On its own, it was harmless, but the internet doesn't do harmless. The video was edited into multiple angles, laced with dramatic music, and spread like wildfire across TikTok, X, and YouTube. In just 48 hours, it crossed 50 million views. Armchair detectives spun theories, favoritism, manipulation, even rigging. Some claimed the entire Idol season had been orchestrated to crown Roberts from the start. IdolGate dominated the headlines. Commentators accused the show of pushing a narrative for ratings, and Jamal became the eye of the storm. American Idol producers, under mounting pressure, refused to comment on the video, issuing only a brief statement, "We do not address contestants' private matters." The silence only made things worse. Jamal finally broke his own silence on Instagram, posting a stark black screen with 7 cold words. "I only know how to sing, everything else is fabrication." But instead of calming the storm, his statement ignited new fire. Some fans defended him fiercely, others turned. Conspiracy threads multiplied by the hour. Hook, and just when you thought it couldn't spiral any further, Jamal went home to a hero's welcome and a protest that would split his reputation in half. Call to action, don't miss what comes next. Like, subscribe, and stay with us, because Jamal's journey was about to collide with public outrage in the most unexpected way. From Idol winner to media target, the fame storm begins. When Jamal Roberts returned to Meridian, Mississippi for his official American Idol homecoming in May 2025, it should have been a triumphant return, and for a moment it was. Over 2,000 fans flooded the streets to cheer, wave signs, and sing his songs in unison. But not everyone in the crowd came to celebrate. A small but vocal group arrived carrying signs that read, "We don't need a manufactured idol," a jab at the recent backstage scandal that had already cast a dark cloud over his victory. News outlets pounced. Footage of smiling fans clashed with protesters chanting fraud, a split screen that was irresistible to the media. International outlets picked up the story, and X, formerly Twitter, descended into all-out war. Supporters labeled him a cultural icon, detractors said he was the product of manipulation. Entertainment Weekly ran a provocative headline, "Jamal Roberts, the perfect drama-crafted product, or a true artist who transcended it all." But no matter where public opinion landed, one fact was clear: Jamal Roberts had become the story. His win wasn't just celebrated, it was dissected, debated, and devoured. And the pressure only intensified when it was revealed that he'd signed a high-profile recording contract with Hollywood Records just days after the finale. What should have been the beginning of his superstardom quickly unraveled behind closed doors. According to sources inside the label, Roberts made an unprecedented demand: full creative control. He wanted to pick every song, design his own album artwork, and direct the marketing strategy himself, a move that clashed head-on with the label's top-down approach. The friction was instant. A $2 million endorsement deal with a major beverage brand was abruptly pulled. The official statement was cold. We no longer see a fit with his image. Business Insider described it as a devastating blow to Robert's early momentum. Hook, but if the industry was turning on him, it was nothing compared to what his own blood would say next, triggering a firestorm that no press team could contain. Call to action, hit like, subscribe, and stay right here, because the family drama you're about to hear would push Jamal's story into even darker territory. Family accusations and online war, Jamal's reputation under fire. Just when it seemed like Jamal Roberts had weathered the storm of industry politics, a far more personal wave came crashing in, one that threatened to break the very foundation of his public image. In a tearful appearance on the local podcast Meridian Speaks Out, a woman claiming to be Roberts' cousin accused him of abandoning his responsibilities to his own children. Jamal is living it up in a Nashville mansion with luxury cars, she said, her voice trembling, while his family back home in Mississippi is struggling to pay bills. The clip, raw and emotionally charged, was clipped into bite-sized pieces and hurled across TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Within 72 hours, it racked up over 30 million views. And then came the digital reckoning. The hashtag #DeadbeatDad Jamal exploded on X, accompanied by angry posts, stitched commentary videos, and brutal memes. But supporters didn't stay silent either. The counter hashtag #StandByJamal surged as fans defended the star, arguing that no one knew the full story. Fueling the outrage even further, paparazzi photos surfaced showing Roberts entering a recording studio in designer clothes, with captions like "focused on music while his kids need him." Then came another gut punch. A Reddit post, allegedly from someone close to the mother of Robert's third child, claimed that a lawsuit had been filed for neglect and inadequate financial support. Though no court documents were confirmed, tabloid headlines ran wild with it. From idol star to deadbeat dad, secrets behind the angelic voice, custody battle unfolds, the media feasted. Within a week, Robert's name had become a digital battleground, caught between brutal judgment and fierce loyalty. Hook, but even as the public fought over his name, Jamal himself said nothing, a silence that only deepened suspicions and concern. Call to action, don't look away now, hit like, subscribe, and stay with us, because what happened next would take Jamal from the spotlight to the hospital.